everyone, and welcome back. It's Julianne here for Trinity Stamps, and today I'm sharing another slimline card with one of my favorite stamps and die sets, the dir-tea bunny, as well as the new Happy Hour stamp set. I'm also going to be using a few of the slimline card series dies to create my card, along with the new slimline Lots of Dots stencil. This stencil set comes with 4 separate stencils, as you can see here, and they are all large enough to cover your entire slimline card, which I find is great for ink blending, which is what I will be doing today. But you can definitely use these stencils for smaller card sizes as well. I'm going to start out today by stamping the dir-tea bunny with some Memento Tuxedo black ink, since I do plan on doing some Copic coloring. I'm just obsessed with this cute little bunny. I've created quite a few cards with him so far. I don't know what it is about him, but I find him just so much fun to color. I'm also going to be stamping out the martini glass from the Happy Hour stamp set. At first I only stamped out 3 of these images, but decided I needed a few more to complete my card, so I will be stamping and coloring those off camera. And like I mentioned before, I am going to be doing some Copic coloring. I just find coloring so relaxing. You can always find me in my craft room just coloring away with a show playing in the background such as Netflix, and that's what I was doing today as I was coloring in all of these images. For my coloring today, I'm going to be starting out with my darkest shade, adding it to the outside of my little bunny image, and I'm going to be working my way down to my lightest shade because I want to make sure that my bunny's face is lighter than the rest of his body. Since this bunny was illustrated to be a dust bunny, I want to make sure that I come in and add some texture. So to achieve that, what I like to do is once I'm done with all of my coloring, I come back in with those same shades and I do little dots around the outside of his fur, doing an ombre effect towards his face with my lighter shades. And this is going to create some really nice fur-like texture to my images. I do like to do this with all of my animal images that I color in, but I find that it really works quite well with these images. And so I'm just going to continue to color, and I'll have all of my marker caps off to the side for each of my color combinations so that you can follow along in case you are interested in any of the colors I'm using, and I'll be right back. Once I have all of my coloring complete, I'm going to be using the coordinating die set to die cut out my cute little bunny. And what I love about this die set is that it cuts out his little hands, which allows him to hold things. And that's going to work really well for him to hold my martini glasses in my card today. I originally thought I was going to be making an A2 size card, but realized I needed more room for all of my images. So I cut down a sheet of Ranger watercolor paper from the Slimline Card Series Panel and Windows die set, and I'm going to be using that as my background for today. And I'm going to be temporarily adhering my stencil down using some purple tape since I am going to be doing some ink blending. For my ink blending, I've decided to use the new Ink on 3 inks today, and I'm going to be ink blending them in rainbow order, starting with the Maryland red color. I am going to be masking off 2 of the rows at a time using some washi tape before I start ink blending with my blender brushes. And I'm just going to continue to ink blend until I have my entire panel covered. Once my background is complete, I'm going to start working on assembling my card. Using the slimline scalloped card panels and banners die set, I die cut some black cardstock, and I'm going to adhere my ink blended background directly on top of that, which is going to give my background a really nice border. Using that same liquid adhesive, I'm going to be adhering the 3 martini glasses in the center of my card. And I'm also going to be adhering both martini glasses underneath my bunny's arms before I pop up both of my bunnies using some foam adhesive to give my card that little bit of added dimension. Once I have everything adhered, I'm going to start working on my sentiment. And for that, I'm going to be stamping the sentiment, "Sending you a little Quarantini." And this sentiment is from the Happy Hour stamp set. And I'm going to be stamping that again using some Memento Tuxedo black ink, since I am going to be coloring in the bubble letters in rainbow as well. And I'm just going to be doing 2 shades for each letter, starting with my lightest shade and then just adding in a little bit of shading with my darkest shade down at the bottom of each letter. Next, I'm going to start working on adhering my card base, and for that, I trimmed down a piece of white cardstock to 3 1/4 by 8, And I'm going to be centering it on the back of my card before adhering it down. And since I did trim it slightly smaller than that scalloped edge die, it's going to make it look as though that is actually the border of my card. This is my first time doing this, but I really like how that turned out. Once my card base is adhered, I'm going to start working on adhering my sentiment, and I'm going to be adhering that into the center of my card. And I just trimmed down my sentiment and popped it up onto some more of that black cardstock using some more foam adhesive, and I'm just going to adhere that directly to my background. Finally, I'm just going to be adding some Gold Rush confetti mix from Trinity stamps, and I'm just going to scatter those throughout my card. And that's going to complete my card for today. I want to thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe for more card making ideas. If you are interested in any of the supplies I used in my video today, they will all be listed and linked down below in the description. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting!